Okay, good morning. We are continuing with Hilchos Niddah Veset Kuf Pei Tet. Okay, today we're continuing with Seif Yudalid, but I'm just going to explain better the beginning of the Ramah in Yud Gimel. So he has the interesting case of she sees on the 1st of the month and the 20th of the month. And then, according to the Ramah, it doesn't really matter how many more times she sees. She always has to worry about this in the next month. Even if she sees again, it doesn't necessarily completely uproot the last Veset. She still has to worry. Let's say if she sees it on the 1st and the 20th, no matter what, she's going to have to be worried for it on the 1st of the next month, Rosh HaChodesh, and on the 20th of the next month, and on the 9th of the next month. She has to worry about every possibility of the Veset of the day, Veset HaChodesh, and the Veset HaFlaga. So, just to point out, okay, first of all, just to explain what's the rationale behind the Ramah, the poskim, you see this in the Beis Yosef and onward. The issue is when you have to uproot a Veset, even if it's a Veset she'eina kavua, just to uproot the one-time Veset, it's not kavua, but just to, reestablish your new 3 times to be choshesh for, or whatever you're choshesh for. Normally we say 1 time uproots a Veset she'eina kavua. However, the Ramah holds, again, it's unclear exactly who agrees and disagrees, but the Ramah among the Rishonim, but according to the Ramah, it's clear, if it gets shorter, if the new Veset, the next time that she sees, is sooner than what was expected from the previous time, then we don't automatically assume it's an akira, it's undoing the previous Veset. For choshesh, maybe it's an extra bleeding, an extra blood. And therefore, it's not necessarily an akira, it might just be extra, and therefore, she has to worry about the previous one and the next one. So again, whenever the interval, or the day, is shorter, it's a machlokas if it uproots the previous Veset. If it goes from 30 days to 35 days, and 30 days goes by, and the next time is 35, then that'll uproot for the next month, because that was longer than what you were expected. When the time period that was expected passes, and she doesn't see the blood, then that's a proper akira l'kuli alma. Okay, who agrees with the Ramah? So, the Taz agrees with the Ramah. The Bach and the Shach disagree. I'll just quote a nice line from the Taz that he writes, Shemoshe emes v'teraso emes. Really, usually we refer that to Moshe Rabbeinu, but he uses the Taz to support the Ramah because that's his name, Rav Moshe Esreles. So too we have from the Pasuk, Derech Melitza, V'chol b'nei Yisrael yotzim biyad Ramah. That's from Az Yashir. Anyway, so what's the halacha? So it depends who you ask. So first of all, the Aruch HaShulchan has a middle shita, a bit of a pshara. He doesn't do it to be pshara. He thinks that's the emes, according to the Ramah, or at least according to the halacha. He says that the Ramah, the psaka of the Ramah, that a shorter one doesn't undo it. He says that's true by a Veset HaChodesh, the day of the month, but it's not true by HaFlaga. Whenever it's HaFlaga, even if it's shorter, it completely uproots it. So that's a middle pshara. Anyways, Lamaisa, it depends who you ask. Some are machmer, like the Taz and the Ramah. Some are mekel all the way to the end. Some are mekel only, like the Aruch HaShulchan. Some they make a difference for the Shana Rishona when you get married. They're a little more mekel for the first year. Anyway, it depends who you ask. And just one last caveat is, just remember, Vestos are derabanan, and the nafkamina halacha l'maisa is not very common anyway. So, okay, let's go to where we are. Yudalid. Kuf pei tet Yudalid. Haita regila liros. Yom Esrim. V'yesh la bazeh veset kavua. In other words, the case is she has a veset kavua, and the veset kavua is the 20th of the month. Always kaf of the month. V'shinta liyom Yom Esrim. Oh wait, maybe it's a haflaga. Whatever the case is. Okay, she has a veset kavua for the 20th. And now, 20th day or 20th of the month, I'm confused. V'shintel yom shloshim. And now she goes to the 30th day. Zeh v'zeh asurim. So what happens is she has a veset kavua. So since she has a veset kavua for the 20th day, 20th day of the month, whatever it is, she always has to worry about the 20th until there's an akira of 3 times. Because, again, the scenario is she has a veset kavua 3 times. Haflaga, right? Okay. Right, okay, good. Now, when she sees on the 30th day, for this one time, right, she still has a veset kavua of 20. Now she sees it once for the 30th. Zeh v'zeh asurim. So now you have to worry about both because there was a change. So now you have to worry that, number one, maybe she still has a veset kavua, so you have to worry about the 20th day. Or maybe now it's being changed, since there was a change, you have to worry, maybe now it's being changed to the 30th day. Right? You don't have to worry about Ona Benonit because she still does have Veset Kavua. It wasn't uprooted. But you do have to worry about the 30th day, the Haflaga. Fine. So again, let's read that inside. Zev Asrim Kashagia Yom Esrim, Liriyat Shloshim. So the 20th day, right, Veset Haflaga, when it's the 20th day after the last time she saw, which was on the 30th day, right, 29 days later, whatever. Asura Mishum Veset Arishon. So 20 days after the 30th, she has to worry about the Veset Arishon, her Veset Kavua. V'imlot Tir Ebo, but if she doesn't see on the 20th day, still Choshesh El Mashloshim. She still has to be worried about the 30th, right? Because there was a change, and maybe it's going to become a permanent change. So that's the halacha. Shinta Pa'amayim Liyom Shloshim. And what if she changes 2 times? No difference, the same as changing 1 time. Zeh v'zeh asurim. She has to worry about both of them, the 20th and the 30th, right? The 20th because that's the Veset Kavua, the 30th because that's what she just saw the last time. First of all, this is a longer span, so this doesn't address the whole machlokas we just mentioned of the Ramah. Okay, let's continue. Zeh v'zeh asurim shinta shlosha pa'amim. Now there's 3 months in a row she doesn't see on day 20, right? 60 days go by, she doesn't see on day 20. Liyom shloshim. 1 second. Shinta shalosh pamim lam shloshim. She switches 3 times to shloshim. Hutar yom esrim. V'nesar yom shloshim. So now in this case, we're going to see it depends. In this case, it looks like she gets a new Shinta 3 times to Yom Shloshim. So she gets a brand new Veset Kavua. And she uprooted her first one. So it's important to keep both in mind. In this case, as we're reading at this point, she uprooted her Veset Kavua because it's 3 times. And she established a new Veset Kavua because it was done 3 times for the 30th day interval. Okay. Yom Veneser, Yom Shloshim. Now, v'im la'achar sheshinta pa'am or pa'amayim yom shloshim ra'ata lesof esrim chazar veset shel esrim limkomo vehutar shloshim. So let's say it was only 1 or 2 times it was moved. She had a haflaga now of 30 days. So she still has to worry about the first time, Veset Kavua. But if 60 days go by, she's going to lose her Veset Kavua of 20 days. But she didn't yet establish, right. She didn't uproot it at the same time. I think she does, because that's 20. We'll keep reading. Let me finish, and then you'll see. Once she loses, anytime a person loses their Veset, we're going to see this inside. You want to read it inside even more mefurish. It's in the Shach in Mem Aleph. What happens is anytime she loses 3 times, it changes. It's no longer the same pattern that she had 3 times, like 320s in our example, 320s go by, she uproots her previous Veset, Kavua. Yes. But if she doesn't establish a new Veset, Kavua, then she has to worry, because it's a Veset Kavua. But let me just read over here. Rata lesof esrim chazar veset shel esrim inkomo vehutar shloshim. She didn't get a new veset kavua of 30 days in this example, 3 times 30. So the next time in her life, as long as she never has a new veset kavua, for the rest of her life, if she once sees on day 20, then she reestablishes her veset kavua, and she does it. That becomes a real veset kavua, and it doesn't get uprooted until it's uprooted 3 times, and it only takes 1 time to reestablish. See the Shach Mem Aleph, and read Tadvav. Shinta reyotea velo hishva otan. If she changes, they become different times. Right? She's not seeing, she doesn't establish yet with 30, 30, 30, 30, whatever, 3 times, intervals. She sees different times, and she uproots her veset kavua. Velo yishva otan, right? Kegon sheshinta pam achas liyom shloshim. It used to be 20, let's say. Now it went to 30. Ve'asheni lamed beis, and then it became lamed beis. Ve'ashlishi lamed dalet, and then it became 34. Ne'ekar veset harishon. So now, she uprooted her first veset, ve'ein la veset klal, and she doesn't have a veset kavua at all. But as the Shach and the Torah Shlamim point out, she still has to worry, since now she doesn't have a veset kavua, she has to worry about the possible veset HaChodesh, Onan Beinonit, and Haflaga. And in this case that came up, she even has to worry l'chumra of veset hadilug. But okay, that's al chazara. But the point is here, ein la veset klal means ein la veset kavua. Let's keep reading. This is the real point of this halacha. V'im chazra lirot biyom haveset harishon. So she completely uprooted her veset harishon, and now she sees 1 time of the original veset, the day 20, 1 time. Chazar l'kviuso harishon. She goes back to the veset kavua that she once had long ago. V'chosheshet lo tamid, and she always has to worry about it. Ad sheye'akar mimena shalosh pa'amim, until it's uprooted 3 times, as if. Yeah, I know. V'hu adin lahapsika lirot shalosh onot. And here, and hu adin, if she stops 3 onot, ve'acharka chazra lirot beyom, then haveset rishon. Chazra lirot beyom haveset harishon. So too, if it changes with the ona, day and night, and then it goes back to the same day period or night period, whatever it was, you only need 1 time to reinstate the veset kavua. Fine. Let's go on to Ted Zayin. Kayotze.
You're saying this could be for years?
I believe so. Ted Zayin. Vuadin lefsika mirat shalosh onot v'yacharka chazra liot bayom haveset rishon. Ted Zayin. Kayotze bezeh din akirat veset roshei chadashim. The same thing for an uprooting veset HaChodesh. Ketzad, or Ketzad. Hayta regila lirot beroshei chadashim. She always sees on Rosh Chodesh. Ve'avar alea Rosh Chodesh v'lo ra'ata. But 1 Rosh Chodesh comes, like all of us, she always sees. And then comes, I don't know, Iyar, she doesn't see. V'lo ra'ata. Chosheshet leRosh Chodesh. She has to worry about the next Rosh Chodesh in Sivan. Ad sheyavru alea shlosha roshei chadashim. So 3 months in a row, she always has to worry about Rosh Chodesh. But avru alea shlosha roshei chadashim v'lo ra'ata. 3 months go by and she has no re'iyah. Eina chosheshes lehem. She doesn't have to worry about any Rosh Chodesh again in the future. However, Chazra Verata Berosh Chodesh, she sees once on Rosh Chodesh because she didn't get a new Veset Kavua. So then Chazara Veset Limkomo. She sees it, only has to see it once on a Rosh Chodesh, and then it turns back into a Veset Kavua that needs 3 more times to undo the Veset Kavua.
But if she actually had a new Veset Kavua...
Right. If she has a new Veset Kavua, then she needs 3 times to reestablish a Veset Kavua. Very good. Okay, Yud Zayin. Now we're going to enter a little bit of a new topic, or a subtopic, of Veset HaGuf. Again, when we talk about Veset HaGuf, there's 2 different terminologies that are used. One is Veset HaGuf, or Veset HaGuf, which comes from a siman, a sign. Something in her body is signaling, and it's telling you, like, let's say, I don't know, strange hiccups, whatever it is, sneezing. Those things are a siman that it's telling you that her Veset is coming. That's one category of Veset HaGuf. Fine. Another category, some call it Veset HaOnes, and some call it Veset HaGuf, but a siba. It's a cause, like jumping, or I don't know, extreme or just any kind of exercising that's beyond what's normal. And that brings upon the Veset. But they're kind of opposites, just to point out. One is telling you that the Veset is coming, and one causes the Veset to come. So the halachas are a little bit different. Okay, so let's start reading with Yud Zayin. We'll start today at least, beginning with Veset HaGuf. Yud Zayin. Kol Veset, shenikba machmat ones, kegon shekafza verata. So the Veset is established anytime she does some kind of it's an onus to her body. She does an act that brings it upon, and it's like an onus to the Veset, that the Veset can't hold back. It's caused by this action, such as jumping, or whatever it is. It could be carrying any intense movement, I don't know, heavy lifting that's not normal, whatever it is. Afilu ra'ata bo kama pa'amim, even though it happens a few times, im lo kava otan liyamim, it needs to be set with times. Eina veset, it's not a veset. Mipnei ha'ones, it doesn't become a veset ha'ones if it's not with particular days. We're going to see this is a machlokes Shulchan Aruch and a Ramah. Okay. Ra'ata mikol makom chosheshet lo kamo veset she'ena kavua. So here, this is it. The Shulchan Aruch holds that this type of veset, if there's no days involved, you do not have to worry about it at all. Jumping can only become a veset kavua, or any that you're choshesh at all for, even like an ena kavua, if it's tied to a particular day. The Ramah holds that even if there's no days involved, if it's the action itself, then she does have to worry about it. It's not going to be a veset kavua, but she still has to worry about it. But you still have to worry about the other stuff. The Niddah. Bottom line, it's based on her pattern. It has to be, abnormal movement that she knows it brings it upon, and it becomes it's established. Kafza verata. Wait, yeah. If it happens multiple times, kavala veset liyamim. One second. Veset liyam. One second. How does this go? Rata. Kafza. Yeah.
You would only look at the days. It's established.
Rata. Right. Because here she saw 3 times and jumped twice. Right? I think that's what the case was. Rata kafza. Virata kafza virata. So kavala veset liyamim below kfitzer. She had 3 times of a day, specific same day intervals or same day of the month. So then she has to worry about the yamim. Ketzad. Kafza. Well, let's see his example. Whatever it is. Kafza be'echad b'Shabbat. She jumps on Sunday. Virata dam. La'achar esrim yom. Kafza be'echad b'Shabbos. So then 20 days later, Kafza be'echad, it's on Sunday, so that's 21. What are you thinking? So, okay, then she sees on Sunday.
You should be falling at 22.
Okay. After, well, it depends of what month it is. No. Right. Okay. I
You should be
hear.
falling at 22, but it's going to
Yeah. Okay. I don't know. Kafza be'echad b'Shabbos virat adam. So she jumps on Sunday,
get...
right? And she sees bleeding. Ula'achar yotet yom, and then after 19 days, yom, kafza b'yom HaShabbos. So then, now it's on Shabbos where she sees the bleeding. Velo ra'at hadam, and she doesn't see bleeding. Ula'achar HaShabbos ra'ata b'lo. But then, after Shabbos on Sunday, she sees the bleeding without jumping. Harei nikba echad b'Shabbos achar esrin. Shaharei noda shahayom garamla velo hakfitza ukavar nikba yom ze shalosh pe'amim v'chein kol kayotze bazeh. So in this case, the days did not line up 100% with the jumping, and the pattern was consistent with the days, not with the jumping. So therefore, the jumping is not relevant. It's only for days. Let me just read this real quick. Yirchet kafza b'yom yadua kagon b'Rosh Chodesh. She jumps on Rosh Chodesh. O be'echad b'Shabbos on Sunday. V'rat habo v'ira kain b'shalosh roshei chadashim. O b'shlosha b'shlosha echad b'Shabbos. 3 times in a row, the jumping is on the same exact interval of the day, whether it's the date of the month or the day of the week. Kavala veset. So now she has a veset kavua. And so anytime she jumps and has that day, she has to worry. And right, b'mafrish. V'im achar kach higia echad b'Shabbos v'lo kavtza, or shekavtza b'sheni b'Shabbos, eina chosheshet sherei lo kava el kfitza shel echad b'Shabbos. And then it can easily be uprooted if it's a change in the day or the jumping. And she doesn't jump. In other words, if they're tied together, then it's even easier to uproot it, because it's only going to continue with that same Veses Kavua if it's always with the same jumping, with the same time.